Alright, it's Tristan from www.primaledgehealth.com. It's the morning time here. I'll try not to move around too much for people who always complain about the shaky camera. Quit complaining about the camera. Listen to the content. It can be hard to stand still, think, and pontificate on subjects. I like to move around, I like to move my body, I like to move my mind. So shut up with those complaints. Anyways, today's video is about progress, staying on track, and not giving in to the old ways, the old cycles, the old habits, the old justifications, the old self-sabotage that we are all familiar with in some way in our lives. We all unconsciously behave in ways that will sabotage our own progress, that will sabotage what we actually want to achieve, and making this unconscious process conscious is a part of pushing outside of that comfort zone, pushing the boundaries, and really living life, really enjoying this opportunity to expand, to experience, to be alive that we all have. We've all got the right to live a happy, productive, amazing, incredible, awesome life. It's all beyond words, right? Language is just like a finger pointing. Doesn't really get the essence of it. It's the map, not the territory. And it's very limiting, especially English. Alright, so got a client, sent me a message today. We made some adjustments a few weeks ago, got him on track, dialed in his macros, made sure he's getting sufficient protein, which he probably wasn't getting before, and greatly increased the amount of DHA and EPA he's been getting in his diet, and he's been doing great. Guy's lost 8 pounds in about 2 weeks, not even feeling hungry, feeling great. But this is something new. So when we go on a new path, when we are changing something in our lives, whether that be dietary changes or lifestyle changes, starting to move our body, anything, starting to breathe consciously, starting to be nicer to people around us, starting to reflect more, trying to see ourselves for what we are, whatever it is, when we endeavor to make changes to the habits that have been ingrained in us for years, there will be resistance. Now, for the first few weeks of doing something like a keto diet, the results will be drastic. Yeah, of course, in the beginning you lose a few pounds of water weight, and that's encouraging. It feels good. Get that weight off your shoulders, get that extra weight off the bones, get that inflammation out of the body. It feels great. And the weight loss seems to slow down a little bit. Might lose like a pound a week, a few pounds a week. I mean, it all depends. This is all context. If you have a lot of weight to lose, of course you can lose fat more aggressively. But here's what happens to a lot of individuals. We'll start making progress. We'll start feeling better. Our mind will be more clear. Our body will feel better. Our body will move better through space. Our mind will move better through the situations. We'll maneuver through these difficult situations that used to stress us out. Our mind might be functioning better in it. The increase in GABA, the increase in certain neurotransmitters that are inhibitory, that actually stop excitatory neurotransmitters that can kind of fry out the connectors there in the old brain. We start to feel better. And then that becomes the new norm. So it might be like a week or so. Say you're dealing with whatever it is. You're losing weight. Your back pain's feeling a lot better. You start moving around more. You have more energy. You feel better. After a few days, it's very likely that you might start to take this for granted. This becomes the new norm. This is just how it is now. You forget how you felt before. You know, this new mental clarity that you've got, this increased focus, this improvement in energy, you might forget. We take things for granted. It's a habitual thing that almost all of us do. So you might be feeling better, you might be feeling awesome. Very minimal cravings. Have to remind yourself to eat dinner. Oh, I should eat. Should get this protein in. I've been working out pretty hard. Or I haven't been eating sufficient protein in the past. I'm going to get some protein in. I'm going to eat some seafood and get some DHA and proteins in. You might forget to eat. This is great. You're trying to lose body fat. You're forgetting to eat. Things are looking good. But then there's always that little nagging thing in the back of our consciousness. These unconscious behaviors. These little triggers, these little buttons that get pushed, and we're used to it. We might be used to binging on junk food, getting in that like food dope state. You know, you eat like a box of Krispy Kreme, some Ben and Jerry's, and you're just like, oh, getting that coma, like comatose. You're like opiated from the foods. We used foods as a drug in the past. We used foods to calm us down. We used foods to ground us. And yeah, this can be a good thing. Some people are looping all over the place. People start getting into things like intermittent fasting, or they go on like a fruitarian diet or something, and they're just going crazy. All kinds of energy. So for some people, food can be a good thing. Calm us down a little bit. Center us. Ground us. Ground us in our body. Ground us in gravity. Don't get too spaced out. Anybody who's fasted longer than a few days knows that feeling. You get kind of wild. That's why fasting's always been used for spiritual purposes. And why fasting can be, for some people, dangerous and addictive. Ooh. Might be a controversial statement there, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to people. And while it's not the worst addiction, it can be something that can hide some major eating disorders. I'm not anorexic, I'm fasting. I'm a breatharian. I breathe air only. It's all I need. Anyways, this little tangent. Sorry about that, guys. There's always this little thing in the back of our mind that will be trying to pull us back into these old behaviors. Whether that old behavior is using food as a drug, using drugs as a drug, abusing alcohol, being a jerk to people around you, whatever it is. These habits are built over time. It's like a path through the forest. The more you walk it, the easier it is to walk. And blazing a new trail can be really hard. You gotta bring a big badass machete, be chopping at big branches, stepping on spiky thorns, clearing brush out, picking seeds out of your pants and your socks. It's so annoying out here, these little seeds, because they're stuck right in your socks and your shoes. But blazing a new trail is a lot harder than walking the old path. And that old path will beckon you. It will call to you. And when it does, we have to keep in mind that we're forging a new path. That we're doing it differently this time. That we are not, by necessity, subject to our old habits, our old ways, our old behaviors. We don't have to be subject to them. So when those justifications pop up, hey, you've been doing really good. You lost 8 pounds in 2 weeks. Why don't you give yourself a little treat? Come on, live a little. Go buy Dunkin' Donuts. Bring a pint of Ben and Jerry's with you. It's gonna feel good. Remember the good old days? We used to have so much fun together, sitting on the couch, watching TV, vegging out, eating junk food. When those voices start to justify whatever the justification is, and this applies to everything in life. This is not just about diet. This applies to anything in life. Trying to quit drinking, trying to quit smoking, it's going to be the same. Addiction doesn't have to be physiological. Addiction can be psychological. So when those justifications start popping up, stay focused. Focus on that 8 pounds you just lost in the last 2 weeks. That's the carrot. Dangle that carrot in front of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. I had lost 8 pounds. This is great. And it was easy. But you know what? Maybe sometimes when something is easy, it makes it really a bit easier to justify jumping off of it. Because when things are difficult, when things are very hard to do, we don't want to give up ground. So maybe rather than just fortifying your will and focusing on that goal and realizing, yes, this 8 pounds is amazing and I want more of that, maybe instead of just doing that, you can look back and think about, how does it make you feel? How did it make, what were the behavioral responses and the mental, psychological, and emotional responses to these old behaviors, like binging on food and using food as kind of a drug to numb us out, to tune out a little bit, to numb that pain that we're feeling? What was the result? I'm going to say in my life, anytime I've tried to numb out feeling, numb out the intensity of existence, the intensity of being human, of being vulnerable, living in a flesh suit, being in this ephemeral, passing state that is life as a human being. Whenever I've tried to numb it out, dull it out, that pain usually comes back in another way. I might come around the block, come around the other side, and be stronger than ever, because we got to deal with it eventually. That pain that we're trying to numb out, whether we're using food, drugs, alcohol, sex addiction. I mean, there's so many ways that people get caught in these loops of self-destructive behaviors. But we got to really deal with the root of it. And sometimes we get kind of addicted to that feeling. We get addicted to that feeling of like guilt and shame. Oh, I just binged on this food. I feel so crappy now. It's going to harm my progress. Sometimes we get addicted to that. Mind states are just as addictive as anything. Anyways, when those justifications come up, remember where you came from. Remember what it was like before. Hold on to what you got. Hold on to the new ground you've been given. And take authority over it. Take authority over your life, over your thoughts, over your reactions to those thoughts. We can't always control all the thoughts that come into our heads. We can't always control what happens to us, the stimulus around us, but we can control how we react. So instead of expecting to give in to those cravings, expect yourself to rise up and say, nah, I'm in control now. This is my body. I can choose to be in it. I can choose to take a deep breath and relax and enjoy this state of being. I can choose to rise up, and I can choose to deal with the root issue that's causing me to self-sabotage and stay in this cycle. Or I can stay in the cycle, go through another round, do another loop, come around the other side and decide again, hey, I think I want to get out of it this time. We're always given a choice. The door's always open. It's our choice. It's our choice how we react. It's our choice what we do with our time, with our life, with the energy we got. So if you're getting more energy, if you're getting more life, appreciate what you're getting. Don't look back. Don't look in that rearview mirror, except to glance at where you ain't going back to as it fades out of your life, as it fades out of view. Don't stare in that rearview mirror and beckon it back. Don't look for the cravings. They're gone. You don't have to go into that anymore. It's our choice. Anyways, check us out, www.primaledgehealth.com. If you're trying to lose a lot of body fat, don't give in. Don't go back. Look forward. You want more life. You want more energy. You want more control over your reactions to these unconscious behavioral loops. So keep a healthy mind state. Your diet should be a healthy lifestyle change, not a new justification for some eating disorder, a reason to be afraid of foods. It's about taking control of our mind, our reactions, of our thoughts, and creating the life we want. And reacting in the way that we choose to react. So you can find more at www.primaledgehealth.com. We still got those 1 kilo bags of maca. Thanks to everybody for the awesome reviews. If you have bought the maca and you like it, make sure to leave a review. Put a little review on the site. It takes a few seconds, I know. I don't usually do it when I buy stuff, but we appreciate that you've done it. We appreciate you guys' support, and I feel really fortunate to share a little piece of our lives with you, share a little piece of the Andes. So check out the free ebook, Maca, the Andean Adaptogen. Very powerful adaptogen, helps the body, the mind, the HPA axis to adapt to stressful situations, whether that be physiological stress and environmental stress or psychological stress. Can be helpful. Of course, you got to get to the root issue of that stress, but there's little things that can help along the way. So if you want coaching, hit us up at the coaching section, www.primaledgehealth.com. Jessica's book, Jessica's recipe book, is so close to being done. We've been editing it ferociously this week, and it is coming, people. I know we've been hyping it for so long. There's so much hype, but it's coming. We're excited to share it with you. So in the next few weeks, that's going to be done. Anyways, www.primaledgehealth.com. Don't listen to the justifications. Look forward. Don't look back. See you next time.